What's up guys, my name is Micah. So today we have the iPhone 15 Pro Max and I'm going to compare it to the brand new iPhone 16 Pro Max. We're going to start off with the color of the frame. So on the back, if we turn it over here, people say that it's darker, but to me they look identical as far as the back glass goes. And you may be wondering if it's the same size camera module. It is, but the phone itself is just slightly larger. I don't know if you can see that it is just slightly wider, but it is noticeably taller there. So if I put them next to each other there, you can see that there's about, I don't know, like 1.15 or 0.15 inches larger, seeing as how the screen is 1.2 inches larger diagonally. So as far as the color goes, the only thing I noticed differently is that on the side here, that color is going to be a little bit different. And instead of that antenna band there, the 5G antenna, it is now replaced with the camera control there on the physical phone. So I'm not sure where they put that. It's not on the other side. I imagine it's just hidden within the phone now. So that's pretty interesting there. So if we're going to power these on, and they should get there. Let me just clean off the screen just a tiny bit on these 15 Pro. All right, so the 15 Pro booted up a little bit faster. I know I clicked it first, but I would have figured it would have been closer of a comparison. Okay, so the last thing I wanted to mention in regard to the design is the slightly thinner bezel. So Apple was bragging that this is the thinnest bezel ever on any phone, I do believe is what they claimed. So you can see here, it is just slightly thinner. Oh, and here they are connecting. So I don't know why that doesn't go away. Either way, you can see that it's just barely thinner, but not too much to really make a difference in everyday life. I imagine that's where they get part of that 0.2 inch increase in size, but for any normal use, it's probably not going to make much of a difference. So if we go into the camera here, there are a few differences here. Okay, so the ultra wide camera is now going to be 48 megapixels on this new phone here. So that is going to be that top camera there. It is a little noticeable, but not absolutely massive. So if I take a picture here of relatively the same thing and then zoom in, you can tell it's a little bit sharper image. I mean, I don't know if this is the same spot. I think that'd be near impossible. And then the other thing is that now our main camera here, the 1x, is also supposed to be a little bit larger sensor. So that's going to be more apparent in low light. If I zoom in again, it's probably not going to be nearly as noticeable. Yeah, that's pretty much the same. I feel like you wouldn't really be able to notice too much if that were the case. If we go into video, we can now see, so we both have 4K 30, and if I click that again, it's going to go to 4K 60, and if I click it again, it goes down to 24. So let me just move it back to 30. So I have 4K 30 on this 16 Pro Max, 4K 60 just like the 15, but now we have a brand new 4K 120, which is pretty insane. That is into the slow motion. And then click it again and it goes back to 24. So pretty interesting that you can get a little bit smoother video and then you can slow it down as well. So that's pretty wild, or you can just get an extremely buttery smooth video if you wanted to do that, I guess. All right, so by far the biggest major update to the phone itself, the physical phone, is going to be this camera control up here. So it's just that button there, and it is actually a tactile button, so you click it down and it'll turn on the phone if it's off, and you click it again and it'll open the camera, click it again and it'll take a photo, click and hold, it'll start a video. Pretty simple there. And then, so if you do a light press on it, it'll open up this zoom here. By default, it's on zoom. So you just zoom in, and pretty simple there. It's just like a trackpad there, and you can get very precise. It likes to snap to the cameras that the phone has. So there's 2, there's 5, and then from there back to 5, back to 2, half, and then 1. So it likes to snap to those, which I do appreciate. But then if you double click it, so not very hard, but not a full click, but a light haptic there, then you're going to get all of these other stuff. We have exposure here. I don't usually ever mess with exposure, but I mean, it's there if you want it. And then we have our aperture here. Not sure why it doesn't want me to do depth here. It may need something. So here's the silicone case for the 16 Pro Max. Okay, so then on zoom, I was just showing that. Pretty simple there. And then I don't know why this really exists, this section, but then you just have the ultra wide, regular 2 times and 5 times, and you can't zoom anymore or out or anything like that. It's the same as if you were to do just that. So not really sure why that was there. Then we have our photographic styles. So this got updated. I'm not really in depth on the photographic styles, but there are plenty of YouTubers that really go in depth on that. So I'm probably not going to use these very often. I don't care that much. Honestly, standard works pretty well for me, which is what I think I believe it's on by default. One thing I will mention with the photographic styles is it is pretty cool that you can adjust that there. So if we go into our photographic styles here, this is new. So now you can change your color and your tone here. And let me go to somewhere else. So if we change this a little bit, change the color, tone, and stuff like that, then you can kind of adjust the, I guess, opacity of the filter. It's not really a filter exactly, but you can adjust that. So pretty interesting there. It's nice that Apple's working on that for anybody that wants to use it, but I personally don't use it that much. So then we have our tone here. Tone, you can change that, so pretty interesting. So that is basically the camera control. Pretty simple. It's not very in depth. I do believe that they are supposed to have been working on autofocus for it, that when you click on it or something it should focus, but I do believe that's something that's coming later this year, as well as the Apple Intelligence. So pretty interesting stuff. All right, so another difference between these two phones is going to be the battery life. So in the event, Apple only said that they're going to have a bigger battery, but that was quite vague. But on their website, it now says, so from the 15 Pro Max on the left here, it says up to 29 hours of video playback. And for the 16 Pro Max, it says now up to 33 hours video playback. So, I mean, I'm not going to do a test here, but you can look at a few of the YouTubers that have done some of those reviews, and they did notice that it is an improvement, but it's not maybe quite 33 hours, but I guess that would be if you were just watching YouTube or something for 33 hours is what that would be on really fast Wi-Fi. I don't know. That would be very specific situation that you could actually get that full battery life. So looking through here on Apple's website, the comparison, there aren't too crazy many differences. The 15 Pro Max and the 16 Pro Max have a lot in common. There's just a few small updates, and I don't understand why people keep talking about, it's such an incremental improvement. It's the same phone. And to an extent, yes, if you're buying these phones brand new, it's not worth it. For me, I'm on a subscription plan, so I will be trading this in. That's why I'm making this video first before the full review. So if you have a 15 Pro Max and you bought it, it's probably not worth it to buy a 16 Pro Max unless you're going to trade it in or something. That would be the only situation here. And you're not going to be missing out on that Apple Intelligence because that's also coming to the 15 Pro Max. Now, there will be a couple of things that won't be coming to the 15 Pro Max, like that. I forget what it's called, visual intelligence there, that when you hold the side button, the camera control down, you will be able to take a picture and basically use the Google Lens thing. But other than that, you are going to get probably the same Apple Intelligence performance as you would on the 16 Pro Max. So one other thing I was going to say about the battery is that it does now support 25 watts on a MagSafe charger. So I did get one of those braided MagSafe for this phone, and I just put it in the car because that's where I'm usually needing the phone charged up the fastest. So hopefully I won't need that as much with an improved battery life, but if I do, it's really cool that that's there. Something I was going to mention as far as the chip is that the A17 Pro and the 15 Pro Max and the A18 Pro and the 16 Pro Max are not significantly improved. Apple says it's, built from the ground up for Apple Intelligence, and they really talked about that with their chip. But on Apple's website, you can see the A17 Pro, 6-core CPU, 2 performance, and 4 efficiency cores, 6-core GPU, and 16-core neural engine. And on the 18 Pro chip, it's 6-core CPU with 2 performance and 4 efficiency cores, 6-core GPU, and 16-core neural engine. It's literally the exact same specs on that. Now, some of the other YouTubers that have gone through and done some of the actual tests of the chips themselves, of their performance, they do see tops around a 20-ish% increase in performance in very specific scenarios, which is a really cool thing. But I'm not too set on, I need a faster chip, because the 15 Pro Max is already lightning fast. So it's not too much of an increase for me. And I don't really imagine there's many people that are using the chips inside these phones to their full potential, unless you're using some of those pro games like the Assassin's Creed and things like that. If you're not doing something like that, you're probably not going to notice any snappier, or if you do, it's just ever so slightly snappier than what it was before, which was already really snappy. If you have any questions about the iPhone 16 Pro Max, please leave them in the comments below, and I will try to answer as many as I can. If this video was helpful, please consider leaving a like. Thank you so much for watching.